3,300. We have Cardano, and man, I tell you, all eyes on Cardano. Watching that, seeing if it tiptoes that $3 mark that we thought maybe we would see. And Friday was kind of an exciting day for our live stream that we had for that. And I said, assuming that Bitcoin and Ethereum do well, that Cardano would also continue to do well, and that's held true so far. So I think that we're in really good shape there. I just want to let you guys know that this is my final live stream, at least, for the regular ones that I put out. I'm going to come back and do other ones as time allows. I do have my regular work starting tomorrow, so that'll always be an exciting time. It might work out for me to do a live stream Friday. We'll have to find out for that. I'll schedule that ahead of time for you, so you guys will know that as well. Totally enjoy doing this kind of stuff. Because we're in the pre-market here, I don't want to go on too much about that. So as a matter of fact, I've been looking so much at crypto that I can tell you that I've hardly even taken a peek at the actual markets this morning. So this is going to be a nice, we'll call it a reaction video. I know my daughters, when they watch YouTube, sometimes they'll watch reaction videos, which I don't know, it's not necessarily my thing, I guess, unless I want somebody else's take on something else that I have an opinion on or feel passionately about. But, to each their own there. All right, so let's sort our pre-market here. Orphazine, Mara, very nice. Riot Blockchain up over 6% each, and that's not surprising given what we see in the crypto markets. It looks like we actually have a decent day so far in the pre-market, at least as far as we go. Apps is tiptoeing that $50 mark. I think that if it finds resistance today, I think that it's going to be resistance soon broken. So those are things to pay attention to. I guess it would help if I shared my screen with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to be stingy. Woo, there we go. There we are. Now we can see it. All right, so let me see if I can bring up Digital Turbine here. And I also want to make sure that I got my comments visible. Good morning, Clyde. Great to have you. So there you can see the day that we had. This is Digital Turbine. So you can see the day that we had on Thursday, taking us down below the $48 mark. And what I said in my videos prior was that below 60 was my load up period, when I thought that it was a good time to grab more shares of Digital Turbine. And then it dropped below 50. And that was just incredible and astounding to watch it go that low. And I think that this is definitely not only oversold by the RSI that we have down here, but also that there's just too much FUD going along with it. And I think that there's also selling pressure across the rest of the stock market for tech type stocks like Digital Turbine. So I think that they got double whammied, and unfairly so. And I think that we're going to see them back in the 50s soon. And I think that we'll easily get back into the 60s over the next few weeks, as long as we have that same action from the rest of the market, that we actually see decent strength coming out of the Nasdaq and the Russell 2000, Russell 3000. I think assuming those markets do well, that there's no big sell-off in any of those markets. I think Digital Turbine should also come right along with it. Abdul, good morning to you too, Abdul. Jake, good morning. Any guidance on IDEX? Ideanomics have been holding a while and averaging down. Also been really excited about position on ETH. Ethereum's been doing great so far. So I'm glad that you're excited about the position that you have. I've dollar cost averaged into its current price, so I'm doing fairly well there. Cardano, I did the same thing on that one. I actually recorded a video. I had made 2 attempts this morning for my Cardano video. The first one, I never hit the record button because it was my first time using StreamYard in order to record a video versus the way that I was doing it prior. I thought it was a phenomenal video. I just never hit the record button. So I did that again. I just wrapped up recording of it before the live stream. So I'm done live streaming and go right into video editing for that one and get it out there. And hopefully it's not irrelevant by the time that it's put out. Check it out after the live stream's over. Watch for that video to come out. It should be out by, I'm guessing, maybe 11 a.m. It shouldn't take too much editing on my part. I can tell you I'm not totally blown away by the video quality that came out on it, so I might not do it that way in the future. We'll have to see. All right, so Digital Turbine, let's take a look at its intraday, see how it's doing in the pre-market. It actually hit the $50 mark and resisted during the pre-market hours. We are up above the 50 period. We have a nice little climb going on in the RSI. So I think that 50, like I said, I think we're going to resist, but I think it's going to be resistance soon broken. So if we don't break it today, then I think that it's something that within the week assuming that the market does well throughout the week, that the market's at least sideways, I think that apps will outperform the market. If the market drops, it's going to be extra downward pressure on the price, creating other buying opportunities that we have. Honestly, this is one of my favorite stocks. So if there's a big sell-off in tech and apps went right down along with it, that took us into the mid to low 40s, even though that's well below my position that I'm in right now, I would, for me, I would jump on that offer. And these are my own reflections, my own opinions. Certainly not financial advice, as I'm not authorized. So I hope that you guys are entertained, because that's the purpose of this video. So let's move on from there. Let me see. Ideanomics was asked about. What do we got until the market? So toss that up there. I also want to I do want to bring up Bitcoin, because I said about the $1 trillion push, and we're darn close. I mean, really, really close in order to get there. So I think another 5% or so. I know that seems like a lot, but in crypto, moving 5% in a day, it's certainly not unheard of. And I think over the next few weeks, we might actually see that. So let's look at the daily chart for Ideanomics and see how they've been doing. Oh, yeah. All right. So it looks like they put in a new recent low, although it's not an all-time low. I remember I actually had a position with Ideanomics when it was under $2 a share. And I think I bought back in here in December, and it's actually done well relatively compared to that. We have that sell-off for Ideanomics. However, it is slowing down. So the nice thing is that we could be establishing a new bottom for Ideanomics along the way. And it looks like that's somewhere around the $2 mark. We have one analyst covering it. I know it's a smaller company. So that would be, if we were to make that, and we'll look at tip ranks to see the timestamp that we put on this analyst coverage that we have here and what the ratings are on that analyst. I'm still working on that referral link for tip ranks, so hopefully they get back to me soon and I become one of their affiliates. And if so, I mean, even before I'm an affiliate, I just flat out recommend them. So you can actually see who's making the analysis, and you can also see when that analysis was made, so that way you know more about the price targets that are set. And it also has some other cool features too. So I'm not currently an affiliate. I stand no financial gain by telling you guys about tip ranks. It's all about, it's a resource that I use in my videos, and you can stand to benefit from it as well. It's a little salty maybe price wise to get into it, but honestly, it's one of those investments that could stand to make you even greater amounts than what you pay for it. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so a $7 upside, and let's see down here. We'll get the detailed analyst list right here, which is a list of one person. There we go. So 3 months ago, and there we see almost tripling in its upside from 3 months ago from Roth Capital, and we have a 4.5 star analyst estimate. So he's right half the time. So according to his past performance, this is a coin flip. His average rate of return when he is right, he does better when he's right than when he's wrong. So even though he might only win half the time, he has bigger wins than he does his losses. So that's something just to take a look at there. So totally check that out. You can see what they say about it, and see why they think that it's going to be that $7 price target that it has to August of 22. Well, that's when they have that projected out. But if it's a 12-month price target and it was 3 months ago, that's 9 months. So that'd be May of 2022 for this price. So as far as I don't know when this company is going for profitability. Certainly, if we were talking about inflation news, inflation fears, and if we think that it's sustained inflation, I believe that they're pre-profit as a company. So this would be highly speculative. So for me, it doesn't mean I wouldn't make an investment in it. I took it as a swing trade before. I did all right on that one. But as a long-term investor, because of the highly speculative nature of this and the fact that it is a growth type company in that way, and you could certainly call it a penny stock type company in that way, this would be one that, from here we could be seeing some decent support, and this support could definitely hold. But I don't know what the catalysts are. So that'd be something that you want to see what that next movement is. Now, when we look at the level twos in the near term, 211, 210, and 207, we have a lot of buy side pressure holding up those prices where it's currently at. And we got almost no sell side pressure in the orders going there. Let me see. All right. So let's go into the pre-market on them. There we go. What's our volume like? Our volume is super tiny right now during the pre-market. So these orders could be something that disappear before the market opens. So right now, if they hold, we could actually see it open and it could open up, but then we could get some big profit taking right at the open. So be careful for that. But we are near support levels. So if that support should hold, then we could have a decent amount of upside today. So let me move on from there. We got about 2.5 minutes. Let me bring up CoinMarketCap. Check this out. So Bitcoin, there's up over that $50,000 mark per Bitcoin. So $943 billion. And that's down just a little bit from where it was at when I looked at it last time. So we need honestly like 5% more, which is like $2,500, which means that Bitcoin is closer to $53,000 per Bitcoin. And I know that that's asking a lot, but in crypto, 5%, it's only up 6.5% over the past 7 days. Look at Cardano, and I know it might be a breakout sort of example that we have, but up 31% over the past 7 days. So if we look at Bitcoin's chart and see what sort of run it's on, it can tell us a little bit more about the price action that we're seeing. Let me see. I think I'm too heavy in ETH and need to add more ADA. Sorry for all the comments. Jake, as long as your comments are good, salient comments that actually contribute to the conversation, there's absolutely no problem. If there's spamming or fear mongering or just a ton of negativity, it doesn't make it a safe place and it doesn't make it a good atmosphere. That's the times then that you would really want to apologize for the comments. But otherwise, you are completely fine, my friend. All right. So Cardano, Cardano's really up there right now. It doesn't mean that it's done running, because I don't think that it's done running. It could be something that takes a little bit of a rest, but not necessarily done running. And my video that I've already recorded, I finished it literally 3 minutes before I started live streaming. I need to sync the voice because like I said, first time doing it in StreamYard. Voice and video are out of sync, so I need to sync those up and just add in a few other things. And I should have that gift wrapped with a bow for you guys by like 11 o'clock today Eastern time. So after I finish my live stream, I'll get that up and running for you. So here's Bitcoin's price action. Let me zoom out a little bit more so we can see what it looked like when it made that run up over $60,000 per coin. So it went up, and then we got a lot of ups and downs from there, bouncing between 50 and 60,000. And then look at this run that we have right here. It's actually taking a little bit more of its time. We have news of a crypto futures ETF, which isn't necessarily trading crypto itself. So it's not the big news that we've been waiting for a Bitcoin ETF or an Ethereum ETF or anything like that, but it's a step in the right direction. And so we could see that. I think the news is putting out there late 2021 or early 2022 that sort of ETF could hit the markets for us. And I think we have at least 14 different applications for a Bitcoin ETF in the meantime. And I think that it's only a matter of time until the SEC caves and actually gives us what we want for the bulls out there in crypto to see those ETFs hit, which will give a lot of, I think it'll spike the demand because there will be a lot more buying pressure with the cryptocurrencies for which that ETF has been released. So we can see the sort of run that's had. We had a nice little flag here, a bullish flag, and then we had just a real crazy look coming out of that, maybe a little pennant, a little bit of barcode going on. Support definitely holding. The more that support holds, the better it holds. And then finally, we ripped up one time again. We can see a little bit of volume tapering, so fairly accurate. But when you have these times here, as the volume tapers and support holds, you get more confirmation. It gives the bulls time to rest. It gives people more time to consider, and that could be something that will end up moving up. So that support right around 48,000 is excellent. That support right around 50,000 that we're currently at. Now, mind you, I called 50,000 support. Honestly, it's either one right now. It's either support or it's resistance. And I know that sounds funny because we're above 50,000. So it sounds like support. I just don't think that we're solidly above 50,000. So right now, it's sort of still resistance. but it could easily act as the thing that's keeping it above 50,000 right now. So a little bit of, we'll call it tenuous support in the meantime. It is, well, let me see. Ooh, gosh, the market open. I could go on about this stuff for hours. So the market's open now. There's that selling pressure that we have with Ideanomics, and look at all those buy side orders that you have, especially near to the price of $2.11.5. So this is one we could start seeing that support hold around that $2 mark for Ideanomics. So who was this who asked about it? It was Jake. So Jake, there you go. Let me move this over so we can see the change that we have for, there we go, market open. All right, Cardano opening things up at 10, Orphazeme around 10. They're always jumping up there. Actually want to check it, Marathon Digital here. There we are. So being in the crypto space, it's not surprising that they're doing extremely well. That's one of the reasons why they're on my weekly watch list. And that was one of the easier calls that we have, just watching because the market doesn't run over the weekend, but cryptocurrencies do. So watching those cryptocurrencies up, if you can get in early during those pre-market times, you can capitalize on some of that price action. And sometimes it carries on throughout the day. So honestly, we'll probably top out here somewhere in the low 38s for Marathon Digital. So if you're thinking about jumping in now for a short term, maybe the intraday play, it might not be the strongest thing. However, if you think that crypto is going to continue to run from the highs that it's currently at right now, then Marathon Digital could be one of those plays that you would jump into. Now, if you already have a position, then dollar cost averaging, it doesn't follow the short-term volatility that we have so much. So for me, I don't have a position in Marathon Digital. For me, I'd certainly wait for some sort of small pullback in crypto before jumping on something like that. And again, this is entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Riot Blockchain, right there along with it. They're going to run together, and they're doing pretty well. So they're looks like mid 37s, low to mid 37s is where they're topping out, and you're going to get a lot of sell side pressure right around that 37.30 mark because crypto is just not moving fast enough in order to move the rest of that price. So that's something to also keep in mind. And while we're in the vein of it, we'll bring up Ethereum Grayscale Trust. There we go. So in Ethereum Grayscale Trust, looking at the daily chart that we have here, Ether popping at around $3,300 per Ether token. So this is one that's not going to move much off of where it currently sits until Ether moves. So this Ethereum Grayscale Trust will track the price of Ether, and it runs about 1/100th of the price of an Ether token. That's not always true. However, when you see it run significantly below that 1/100th, that'd be something that you could use as a small opportunity where you might have that sort of adjustment. We also have Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, so GBTC. So for people who are looking for exposure to cryptos, maybe in like a retirement portfolio or something that can't hold crypto directly yet, these would be ways that you could get that sort of crypto exposure. Riot, Marathon, GBTC, ETH, these are all ones that will work for us. And Bitcoin pushing up over 50,000. We currently sit right at resistance here in the mid 39s for Marathon Digital. I know I saw more stuff pop up. What do you think about starting? Listen, what do I think about Alibaba, Faiz? That's a great question. Let's go there. So I think that I mentioned this before when I talked about Alibaba, and you can see I had some drawings in here. This need to span this gap. I think it was in April when somebody in the Discord asked what I thought about this, and I said, we need to break resistance, and if we break resistance, then there's that gap in there to be filled, and that was up in the mid 200s. We failed to break over resistance, so that gap never got filled, and we just kept on selling off on Alibaba. So watching this dump the way it has, I think the RSI is showing us a true picture right now of what's going on. I think that we're finally getting into that oversold territory. And look at the volume confirmation that we have coming in with that sell-off for Alibaba. We want to start watching that sort of uncertainty come in for those prices and some low volumes coming in. And it's going to be hotly traded. What do I think about getting in now? I'm telling you, Faiz, I am, and I didn't already cover this. I actually meant to cover it and forgot about it. Look what happened last time. We had that huge sort of drop off for Alibaba, that we got that last little rise. I don't think that the bear run is over for Alibaba. However, I think if you're looking for a good company at a reasonable price, those prices are starting to get really reasonable for Alibaba. So just take a look at what we had. There was a little bit of a head and shoulders further sell off. And I mean, what's this back here? Peak pandemic. We are below the pandemic peak fear prices on Alibaba. So the one thing that keeps me from taking a position in this is that if I did do this, it would be a swing position right now. The thing that keeps me from being a long-term investor is that I don't know enough about the future fundamentals of Alibaba moving forward to see what it's going to take and where this company should be priced. However, at these levels, I think we're going to take a significant bounce from here, even if it's not enough to really bring on a reversal. So a sign of a reversal would be that we'd have that bounce, and we would start to see curving the other way back to horizontal or positive for the moving averages. We'd see convergence between the 50-day and the 200-day that I have up here for you. And we would start to see the 50-day start to turn positive. Those would be really good signs that we could be entering in some sort of reversal period for Alibaba. So the fact that they've dropped off so much, I know that there's a lot going on in China right now, that there's a lot of downward pressure in the markets in general. Alibaba's going right along with it, and checking out the headwinds that they're facing, which are probably significant, be something I'll watch for. I thought about under 200. You can actually see 200 holding right about here before we finally broke 200, and we kind of fell through the floor on this one. I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I just don't know enough yet. It's same thing right now. I don't know enough, but the prices are getting so low on this one that it's starting to really intrigue me to what's driving this price down as low as it is, because mid 150s, we're down over 50% from where we were at the high of 319 back in October. And it's just been one heck of a bear market since then. That death cross really did play out to a significant effect right here. So yes, I'm thinking about it. No, I don't know enough, but I'm getting inspired. So I might end up taking a position sooner than later in Alibaba if I like what I see moving forward from here. Good morning, Joel. Thoughts on Tilray double bottom? I will most definitely take a look at that, because if it is a double bottom, like a W shape, for example, which I believe I talked about in my video on Cardano this morning. Like I said, that'd be out around 11. So check that one out. Yeah, we'll look at that. So Faiz, let me wrap up about Alibaba here. We could be seeing a really good opportunity unfold before our eyes, that we start to find bottom before we start entering a consolidation phase, before we start accumulating and then start that reversal into a bullish area for Alibaba moving forward. Let's just look at the analyst estimates, and then we'll move on to Tilray for Joel. So we are down below the low analyst estimate of 189. 50 analysts covering this. 58 call it a buy, 32 call it a strong buy, 6% call it a hold. So what's that? 3 people. One person says an underperform, one person says it's a sell. So we have 10% across them. So 5 total people versus 45 that think that this is a really incredible opportunity over the next 12 months. So let's look at tip ranks for it. We can make this like a Bohemian Rhapsody moment. Baba, ooh. There's a rare treat for you guys. Unless you like it, then I can sing more on camera. I promise you, I should never be famous for it. I actually, in high school, I had one of my friends ask me to be the lead singer in his band, and I didn't mean to be rude when I laughed, because he wanted me to be. But I said, "Guy, I can't sing. I'm not good." And he goes, "Nah, I heard you sing. You're good, man." But then, yeah, I just think he was wrong. My family is famously tone deaf. When I went to Jamaica, everybody seemed to be singing that was from Jamaica, and they all sounded great. And I would say, man, everybody seems to sound good when they sing. They said, that's because we go to church. I'm like, well, my family goes to church, and we don't sound like that. All right, moving on from there. So Let's take a look at what we have more recently. All right, so everything's pretty much in the last month. Deutsche Bank 281, 192, 285. Absolutely all the coverage that we have. I think 190, I think, is the lowest that I see from DZ Bank from 1.5 star analyst, 192 from a not ranked. Everything is up over near or over that $200 level, and we're currently down at 150. So times 4, times 3, so like 30% upside just to get us to the low analyst estimate that we have right now, which I guess, okay, 22.5 they're saying. So I was a little bit over on that one. For the $200 mark, somebody give us 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. There's a 192. All right. So like 20 to 30% upside from its current price if we're going to get that sort of bounce. We are in a significant bear trend, but like I said, we could start flattening out at some point in time. It's not going to drop forever unless there's something going on that's causing Baba to be in threat of some sort of bankruptcy or delisting or something like that. So, like I said, I'm going to have to read about it and see what's going on. You ask, we analyze. What's next for Alibaba stock? So Ben Zinga actually has an article. You might want to check that out. All right, let's check out Tilray. All right. So we're looking at the daily chart. We are way zoomed out on Tilray here. So this is from Joel. So this looks like a lot of the smaller companies that we would have in the cannabis space. And I don't follow the cannabis industry too closely. Tilray, I know, because it's one of the bigger ones. Sundial, I know because I got to play its volatility for a little bit for some swing trades. I've never been an investor in any of them, but I have taken opportunities of market conditions in order to make some lunch money. Couple day trades, couple swing trades, but otherwise, I don't really do any long-term investment when it comes to Tilray. So when I look at them, we're actually sitting at a really nice support level. Now, this is falling after definitely this bearish trend that right now we have low volume, low-ish, and let me see. We're also kind of staying pretty much even compared to the volatility that we had before. So this consolidation period that we have now, we don't know how long it's going to go for. And I don't know enough about the background of Tilray in order to speak about that. As far as a double bottom, so bottom here, bottom there. So Joel, what we're looking for, if this starts its rise back up, we want to see it break the previous peak that it had, which would be, let me see, unless we call that bottom over there and that bottom. In order to really break out in a bullish way for that double bottom, we want to see breaking over those previous highs that we had. Breaking over this one would be really good at the $23 mark. And it depends on which highs you're looking at and how locally. So if we're going here, this locally, then it's like 1728, 16. And then we also have the moving averages that are going to act as resistance for us. So I don't know that it's going to move. We want to watch for further signs of reversals from where it's at. The candles look all right from this, that we had that sort of battle tested candle here with that bullish pressure, keeping it from tumbling any farther than it was. If we saw a nice engulfing candle come out of this, or if we saw 3 nice large bodied progressively higher candles coming for like the 3 white soldiers making that march upward, we could see those signs of reversal. And we most definitely want to see some sort of volume support come in this, sort of like what we saw back here on this day. It looks like July 28th. So if we start to get that volume increase, volume supported movement upward, that can start to give us pretty good confirmation that we're starting to see some catalysts that are going to push the price higher. We do have a positive slope on the 200-day. We do have a negative or flat to negative slope on the 50-day. So another thing we could watch for is that 50-day moving average start curving up towards the 200. So as far as, let me see if we can bring this out a little bit. And it's not necessarily a perfect formation. So I don't know all of what's been going on for Tilray. I know the cannabis market is one that, I mean, it's historically volatile. And I don't know, are there any profitable cannabis companies yet? You know, maybe if you follow them, maybe you would know better than I would. But making it scalable and profitable and making it through all the different legal red tape and stuff that we have. There's just a lot of hoops to jump through, and especially for the United States, legalization at the federal level, superseding the state level, would be something that would be absolutely huge for the cannabis market. It's just it's a touch and go thing, and one thing that we do have going for us is the amount of risk that's coming out of this right now with what we have with this sort of support level being reached. What we don't know is when that price action will come in to bring us up to these prices that we saw in the past and start that next bull run that we have for Tilray. All right, let's check in. Where's my friend? I just saw Arcimoto in there. There they are. All right, so Arcimoto, where did they bottom out here? Their low price $9.86, so they just tiptoed below $10 before coming back up. This is one I think that we're going to fill out. We're going to fill this gap over time. I think that we're going to see their projections increase. Maybe not for 2021, but I think 2022 is going to be a much stronger year for them. I really think that they need more market exposure. I think more people need to drive their fun utility vehicles and experience them. And I think that customer experience is going to be something that's going to really be the catalyst for their orders. So spiking the demand, which should hopefully spike the production that we have and spike the deliveries that they do. Right now, that number's in the low to mid hundreds. I think 425 FUVs is what Arcimoto is projecting to put out for 2021, and that's down from being in the 500s. So getting that sort of downgrade and delaying their trip towards scalability and profitability is something that really has hindered them and caused this drop off that we see right here. And I just think for them, it's just a little bit too low. I don't know that they should be going up to the astronomical levels. I don't think they should be in the 30s by any means, but I think that by the end of 2021 that we're going to see the $10 mark hold. And I think that, making it up maybe to like 12 or 13 would be about right for where it's trading. And really, we'll just have to wait and see. Other people would argue that it's sort of rich, but that's the way it goes with growth companies, is that people are pricing in future fundamental value. And I just think that it's S-curve wise for the demand for their product. I just don't think that we hit any sort of inflection point yet that's going to start really igniting any sort of volume for Arcimoto, but I could see it coming. I think they have a nice little niche space for themselves, and I think that they can fill it out beautifully as long as they can reach scalability to make it profitable for themselves. All right, so while we're in the space, let's go to NEO. So tying together Chinese stocks with EVs. And NEO is having a bit of a rough time as well. You can see they fell off this slant support that we have here. We started pinching upward and a little bit downward, and I thought that we'd break out to the upside. However, macroeconomics hit us, and so we have August the 16th is where we gapped down, and it's been struggling since then to break back up into the 40s. However, I think that we're getting discounted rates. I said 35 would be about where I would expect, mid 30s, I think I called it, but maybe down to 35. You can see 36 right now is the better support that we have. So in the mid 30s, I'm not surprised to see it down that low. I'd be very surprised to see it in the low 30s. So I think we'll barcode for a little while, but I think that we're going to find really good support in the mid 30s before we start turning things back around and heading back up to that $40 mark. So those are my thoughts on NEO. Let me see. Thanks. Playing this for the swing trade off the support with a tight stop. Joel, I think that's reasonable for Tilray. If you can look into and maybe you have done this, I don't know because I don't follow them. But if you look into what's coming up for them, what that next area of volatility or the near-term catalyst is, if they have something coming up, maybe check Twitter, check Reddit, check their investor relations. If there's some sort of date coming up in mind that you can pinpoint, something that might cause some excitement for them or some momentum for them, to give you that sort of price action, it could let you know a little bit better around that time that exit could come. And something else you could do is look at the cannabis industry in general and see if there's any sort of catalyst coming up that would cause movement. And Tilray being, I believe, one of the larger ones, that could be something you'd watch. to see how that's going to play out. So you're gonna have to let me know how that goes. I mean, well, you don't have to, but I'd appreciate the feedback because I always like to hear the victories, and I'm always here to support people in the case that they have losses. So we've all taken them on the chin. All right, Xpeng actually has a pretty decent looking chart. So let me show you why I say that. So we have all the way back here. I need to change my scale a moment just so my drawing tools work a little bit better. There we are. Oh my goodness. There we go. I just put two thoughts together in my head. There we go. So this isn't great for a pennant, but I'll show it as a pennant first, and then I'll show you something else that my coordination's getting the best of me at the moment. So even if this flagpole doesn't really count, and it could, but it couldn't, because we don't really see too much of it back in here. We do have that 200-day that's acting nicely as resistance for us, and we are squeezing up on it. But even if we don't have that flagpole part of it, we at least have this sort of, I'll bring this out here, and then let's extend this one. Maybe right about there. So we do have this squeeze taking place and this narrowing taking place, and Xpeng's been a champion so far. And I think that they're a really good one to pay attention to right now. Whereas Neo, I think, is going to take a little bit more time to turn on the gas. So I still think that Neo is top dog. I just think that price action wise, Xpeng is a little bit more interesting at the moment when we look at the stock price for the company. So right now we have a lot to contend with as far as resistance goes. So making it back up to this top line, we have to make it back up over the 200-day, which is at 40, which is also a round number psychological resist. So that can be difficult. And then 41, so another round number that we have, not quite as strong as 40 would be, but still $41 breaking up over that. They have to make it over that. And then finally the slant line that we have right here. If we can break significantly over that, we are going to have a significant break to the upside. And I don't know, because of where this one starts, I don't know that we will see any sort of pennant formation come out of this. It's not my favorite. As a matter of fact, I don't even know that I want to keep that there. I think I like this pennant look a little bit better, where we can see the squeeze from the Bears, the squeeze from the Bulls, and the fact that they're battling each other. And it's going to come to a head, and we're going to have a breakout in either direction. So assuming that the EV market doesn't tank, assuming that China doesn't get really, really bad for Xpeng regulatory wise, Delta variant, assuming that is pretty well contained. So there's some assumptions that go along with it. We could see resistance broken, and we could see that break to the upside sooner than later. So we're going to have to pay attention to the news to see which way we break on this. If we do break to the upside, we have room to at least, let me see, where are we at right here? Mid 40s, maybe up to that 47. What was that? 47.98 it looks like. So almost $48 that we have right there. And if we zoom way out on this, to the downside, little stop at 35, little stop at 33, and then big old stop right at the $30 mark. So I don't see us chopping down that low anytime soon. It is, what is today? Today is August the 23rd. September 1st, we get more deliveries. And so that can be the next catalyst that we have. So put September 1st on your calendars for Neo, Xpeng, Lee, Tesla. They all put out their deliveries on the 1st of each month. And so that could tell us a little bit more when that happens. So if I move my cursor out here, right there, where my cursor currently is, the vertical one, the straight up and down, that's where we could see that breakout take place. So just watch for that. When I say breakout, remember that's either direction. So above the top line or below the bottom line, where it could send us either way. When they break, not if, but when they break the 10,000, so going from 4-digit deliveries up to 5-digit deliveries in a month, I think that's going to be really big news. Not only for Xpeng, I think that if Neo can do it, or when Neo does it, and when Lee does it, those are going to be absolutely huge for those. Tesla, seeing how they're faring through the semiconductor shortage, is also going to be huge for them. And seeing how close, I think it was it 1 million or was it 500,000? Why am I Sometimes I forget numbers or they get jumbled because I talk about too many in a row. My head fills up. But Tesla meeting or exceeding their goals for their deliveries. And for some reason, I keep thinking it's 1 million deliveries for 2021. If you guys know, you can put it down in the comments. I'm going to have to look it up because it's escaping right now. But meeting or exceeding their goals are going to be great things, especially in light of the microchip shortage. Sip of coffee. All this talking makes me quite thirsty. All right, let's see what else we have moving. Let me see. Palantir. There's and it moved. Oh, we got Microvision. We'll stop here for a moment. So Microvision, they are huge momentum movers, and you can see that sort of momentum that it has. And I made my money off Microvision. I think I got it. The price is escaping me now. $8-10 per share. And then when that actually, you know what, it may have even been $7 per share because I think I saw it go up to 14, and I was like, sell, because it doubled so quickly. And so I exited my position, and that was that. And then I watched it go up to 28, so that could have quadrupled my position. I'm gonna have to check those numbers. I know that I doubled and I sold, and then it just kept on rocketing. So you can watch this for momentum play, and certainly where it's at right now, near those support levels. If you guys like the smaller, more speculative companies and the momentum plays, this is one that could push on. Remember, we're in a slightly different environment because this is one of the Reddit stocks, and they don't have the same punch, I guess, that they did. And the reason for that is that you have more on the big money side aware of what's going on Reddit. Their attention has been drawn there, and so they will be taking that into account where they may have been discounting the importance or the influence of the retail traders, on the Reddit forums, and them coming together and investing together and moving the markets together. But I don't think that that's something that's underestimated anymore. And I think that's why we see the muted price action for some of those stocks now. All right. So I tried to talk about Palantir. I'll just type it in instead of trying to click on it because these are all jumping around. There we go. And I got all sorts of lines drawn on Palantir here. And let me hit the auto button so we get better scaling. There we are. So I said mid-20s is about right for Palantir. And we broke this. And I said a few days ago, I think it was back on this candle on the 12th, I said I'd be surprised if we hit 26. And we still haven't hit 26. I think we're going to barcode for a while, right around that $24, $25 mark. We could even come down and keep on flirting with the 50-day that's down here just below 24. And the 200-day is actually right in the middle of our candle right now, which is currently meeting right in the mid 24s. So if we close lower than we're at right now today for Palantir, I'm going to call it unsurprising. We do have a lot of green in the markets, it looks like, for these growth stocks. When we talk a little bit more of overall market influence, I also wouldn't find it surprising to close pretty much where it's at right now, assuming that the overall markets don't change in the meantime. I just wanted to see Digital Turbine. They actually broke. They have a high of $50.59, and I said that they could continue to resist today. And the current price right now is $49.71 on the daily chart. Let's go down to intraday so we can see what's going on. So here's the 30-minute chart, and you can see that wickedly high wick that we have. Really long wick on the bottom, wick on the top, and on the bottom. Slightly longer on the top. So open, popped up, and then ripped down. So let's take a look at the 5 minutes so we can see a little bit more of that story. There we go. Wow, look at that that battle test that we have. Where did that take place? Right around the $49 mark. So right now, we could be range bound today between 49 and 50. That's my call for today for Digital Turbine, is that we're going to be stuck in between those. So if we come off the 50-period simple moving average that we have, I think that we could easily return to it wherever it might happen to be, because it is a moving average. But honestly, mid 40s, because we're stuck between 40 and 50 today, I think could totally happen. I think we're going to retake 50. I don't think that resistance is going to hold. As long as the market cooperates this week, resistance is going to break. We'll be back up in the 50s in no time. If the market doesn't cooperate, the market tanks, well, then we're stuck in the 40s for a little while longer. But overall, I think those price targets, which have now easily put this in 2x territory, 107 was the last I checked on tip ranks here. There you go. There you go. It's still 107, 114% upside from its current price of just under $50 per share. So watch that, check it out, see what you think. Most recent, 14 days ago, $132 price target from Maxim Group, 115 from a 5-star analyst before that. All right, let's check in with crypto quickly. All right, so Bitcoin, we looked at that one. Let's go look at Ethereum. There we are. So Ethereum still rocking above, it looks like $3,300 per share. So 33.41. That'll load in just a moment for us. While we're waiting for that, we can check out Watch the Burn. I've already had that up there. Rewards, 243,000 ETH rewarded, 78,000 burn. The gas fees have been, well, the transactions have been lower. So the gas fees have been lower because there hasn't been as much congestion. So there has not been as much burning. So instead of rocking close to 35% net reduction for Ethereum burned, now we're closer to 32%. And that should be something that steadies over time. For that burn rate that we have, at least until proof of stake and sharding come out for ETH 2.0. As they come out, that's going to change that number for us. And there's been a lot of talk that possibly it becomes a deflationary asset, which would spike the demand. It also, as we switch to proof of stakes, gets rid of selling pressure. So I think there's a lot of reason when we switch to proof of stake. I think that $5,000 number that people have been talking about, I think it starts to become a lot more realistic looking. As we get rid of that selling pressure and as we progress with ETH 2.0, I think we're just going to make an incredible bull run from here. And who was it? It was Jake who said he was excited about his position for ETH. I think he's going to get more excited over time that we're going to watch that play out. If we go to this one's kind enough to tell us for total ETH burned, according to its current price, over $260 million in ETH burned since EIP 1559, the London Hard Fork, went live. I believe that was on August the 5th at 8:37 a.m. So make sure that you're checking that out. By the way, if you're watching the trend on the base gas fees that we have and the fact that those fees are spiking, we're going to get a slightly faster burn than what we have. And so we could start creeping back towards that 35% reduction in total ETH placed on the market. All right, so well, I thought I clicked on Ether over here and that we were waiting for it to load. I thought it was taking a long time. So 33.42, and let's see where it's going to go. All right, so on Ethereum, I think we're going to see that $4,000 mark. I think it'll happen before the end of 2021. I think it's going to take proof of stake and sharding to push us above the $5,000 mark. That we need to see that scalability, and depending on what sort of TPS transactions per second we get, whether it's just the straight up transactions or we're talking about executing smart contracts, really the more they push that scalability is really going to do a lot for Ethereum. So you can see the history of its price action. It hasn't overtaken those highs, and the fact that it's taking a little bit of time to rest in between is a really good thing for pushing us forward to the next run. So keep that in mind as you watch Ethereum. Let's go to the candlesticks so we can see a little bit more of the near-term action. So either we see a definite flag pull going on here, and we're getting a little bit of a bullish flag coming up this way. So let me grab the drawing tools. There you go. Up to about there maybe. And then looks like maybe about across there. So we're not running exactly parallel. Maybe we're actually getting a bullish bias on more of a pennant shape that just hasn't played out yet. So this is one that could take a little bit of time before it comes to fruition, but this is one that we could watch out for. We want to see the cryptocurrencies resting. When they become extended like Cardano does, it becomes really difficult to push through resistance. So we're establishing a nice base of support, which gives us something to push off of, and we could start to see that bullish run continue where we start to overtake those previous highs that we have. It's just getting too exciting in crypto. There's too much movement for it, too much progress being made, and too much. And the regulation, in my mind, is a good thing. With that regulation coming along, we start to build more confidence and trust in the crypto space, given the right regulations. And I don't think that centralization, I think that defeats the purpose, but I think that there's going to be some governing bodies around what we can do with it. So while in some ways it's a mitigating factor, I think that in other ways it's actually a really good thing for bringing it to the mainstream, and also really seeing it that bull run continue. So good movement right now. If we I don't really want to say ignore these, but if we kind of make this a little bit more along the bottom of the majority of these and average that out a little bit, we can see a little bit more of that shape. And I think that we're going to break that resistance of 3,300 in the near future. So let's just watch that play out. All right, I want to stop by Cardano quickly. So Cardano up to 288 per ADA token. $92 billion market cap. So just falling 300 billion shy of what Ethereum's at. So will we see that push to $3? Man, I wish. I don't know if you're watching earlier or not, but I said earlier that I recorded my Cardano video twice. The first time I forgot to hit the record button, and that meant when I went a second time to do it, that it pushed me right up to like 2 or 3 minutes before the live stream. So I have that video ready to go for you. I just need to do a couple quick edits, like syncing voice with video, because for some reason they didn't synchronize, so I'm going to have to adjust that. But when I put that out there, I should have it out for you by about 11 a.m. today. So you have to check that out for a little bit more detail for Cardano. You can see the run that it's had here, really spiking up. So while Ether has rested and while Bitcoin has rested, Cardano took a little bit of a rest around $2, but since then has not taken much of a rest. And right now, holy cow, $2.90. So I said, will we see that run to $3? I said we totally could see that run to $3. And I want to see, let's scroll down the page a little bit. Our volume is still tapering off a little bit. So we start to get less conviction for buying at these prices. So $3, I think, is going to act as an area of resistance for us for Cardano, that we could come back off that price. Finally, we could see some sort of like resting period for it, could settle right around the mid twos before taking another shot at making another bull run. So at this price, I mean, it is so run up right now that I'm not going to touch this price with a 10-foot pull. I more than doubled my position where I'm in at for Cardano. And, if I want to be a trader and instead of an investor in this, yeah, I might take some profit on it from where I'm at. I mean, honestly, it's just incredible. If I wait for it to hit $3, it could tumble back down and I could miss the opportunity beforehand. So, gosh, I might just have to do it. All right. If I do it, I'll let people in the Discord know, so you can check out my Patreon. By the way, if you want to support the channel, besides hitting the like button, absolutely free. Webull and Moomoo, both are trading platforms. Webull, you see in my videos. Moomoo is one that you get access to Chinese markets as well as the US markets. And they have some really cool learning programs and incentives, lots of free stocks, GM stocks they're actually giving away right now. So you can deposit $100 and get a stock for like, you have a shot of stock for like $50 or something like that. So just incredible opportunities because they are new. They are trying to get out there. And so the giveaways are much bigger, much like Webull was when it first started doing its incentive programs. So those are down there. Also linked to the Patreon. That's enough of that. So Cardano still could hit 3. I'm hoping I get my video out before it does hit 3. Otherwise, it looks like I'm reacting to it instead of forecasting it. But then I think it will rest around that $3 mark. We could push on to that $100 billion market cap. But overall, will we make that run to $5? Honestly, I think that there's room for Cardano to run to 5. Maybe not on this run, but in a future run, certainly by the end of 2022, I think is more than reasonable for giving Cardano enough time for growth and development in order to see that play out. So we'll just have to watch and see if that holds true. All right. So let me check the comments quick. All right. So it's 11 after 10. I'm going to wrap things up for the day for my last regular live stream. If I do it for the live streams, I'll let you guys know ahead of time. I'll put that out there. I'll schedule it. Otherwise, I'll just be putting out my recorded videos like I was doing prior to live streaming. And I hope that you guys like those and you have opportunities in those. If you do like my channel, if you do like my videos, subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends. If you want to support, like I said, those referral links are down there as well. You can support yourself while supporting me at absolutely no cost to you. Patreon is a little bit of cost to you while supporting me. Just go take a look, see what you think. Thank you guys for stopping by. It's been incredible. And And I can't wait to be back and live streaming more for everyone. In the meantime, thanks for rocking with me, and go get that money.